All right, this is John Cola with OKRaw.com. Today we're going to talk about raw foods. So I just got back from the Expo West trade show, and for those who don't know, that's the trade show for the natural foods industry or natural products industry. And basically, what it is all the manufacturers of all the different food products come and set up a trade show, and all the store owners and Whole Foods and other companies buyers go there to find all the new products and new vitamins, supplements, and natural organic foods that you could buy. And the show has been growing by leaps and bounds in the raw foods category lately. So every year I go, I always see more and more and more processed raw food products. So this year it was totally off the hook. There's a company called Raw Food International, I believe is their company name, and they make this basically it's a pasteurized juice labeled raw. It's raw or tastes like raw or something. It's RAAW, and this stuff's pasteurized, but it's still labeled raw, and it's like such a scam. And it has a 6 month shelf life, and it's totally as far away from raw as we would like. In addition, there are other companies that sold raw granolas, in packages, and it had ingredients such as maple syrup. And any person that has been into raw foods knows that maple syrup is not a raw food product. It's been heated at too high of a temperature basically to boil it down. And we could get into all the different agaves and coconut palm sugars that are supposedly maybe raw but trying to be sold as raw. And they had coconut palm nectar now that was raw. And but to make it raw, what they do is they basically put it under pressure and then evaporate it out, so the temperature doesn't go above raw. But when it's evaporated and put under pressure, that's not totally natural and raw like we would want. So the raw food movement in a whole, as I see it, is going in a direction that maybe was not originally intended by its founders of the raw foods movement. It's we're trying to make raw foods into the next big profit center or next big thing, to make money. You put raw in it, oh, it sells more because people think it's good. On the other hand, there's other things you put raw on, like raw spinach and E. coli. Well, that was caused by probably some animal feces or something, not even, natural. But, so some people think raw is bad, but there's a lot more people that thinks raw is good. And people that market products to are definitely using that term now to get more products and sell you more products. And you know what? I'm here to tell you that the best raw foods are the foods that you could grow in your own garden. So I'm sitting here in my garden. This is my front yard, a standard residential lot, 1/10 of an acre. And I want everybody to start that. If you're into raw foods at all, you know what? You need to be growing your own food. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, because when you grow your own food, you know what raw food is. This is raw food. I'm literally picking it and eating it. And look at that. This is an arugula flower. Taste actually has a nice barbecue flavor. And if you look on there closely, you'll see like the pollen that's on the little petioles in there. And that's, why eat bee pollen when you could eat arugula flower pollen. The bees would go around and collect this, but we could have it free and clear. That's so good. So this is what raw food is about. It's about fresh produce, the freshest as possible, and nothing approaches the freshness of this spinach here. I could literally pick right here. This is raw going into the mouth. That's raw food. No ifs, ands, or buts. Not these packaged products. They might be healthier than, so a raw food granola might be healthier than Cheerios or a cooked granola. But you know what? It's no substitute for fresh fruits and vegetables that you grew yourself on your land, in your space, whether you have a patio, front yard, acreage, or whatever. We want to be growing our own food if you're at all serious about raw foods, because if you're not growing your own food, you're not getting the highest quality food. Even if you shop at the farmers markets, when you allow somebody else to grow your food, you're letting them dictate, your health. Because if they're not adding rock dust minerals, the soils are deficient in minerals. If they're not adding rock dust minerals, your foods are now going to be mineral deficient. And you're not going to get the minerals unless you're going to then pay the supplement companies to buy a supplement of minerals and then take the supplement. Why not put the minerals back into the soil using something like rock dust? You could learn more about rock dust at remineralize.org. put the minerals back in the soil, grow mineral-rich foods, and eat those foods. And that's, you're getting your minerals, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, enzymes, everything in nature's purest form as fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. So that's what raw foods is really about. Hopefully, this may strike a chord with some people that have companies. Oh, and one of the other examples, I'll give you an example from Expo West. Still got all the spinach in my mouth. Because you got to chew your food really well too, and not a lot of people tell you that. Another example at Expo West is a popular raw food company, and I won't name any names, and they have a line of granola, and I asked them about some labeling disparities or labeling inaccuracies that I've seen. Some labels will say their granola contains, honey. Some of the labels say they use agave, and some even had coconut palm sugar. Well, coconut palm sugar, number one, is absolutely not raw. It's evaporated coconut palm sugar. And I said, well, hey, man, what's up? I mean, you're selling this granola, and now that you're changing the ingredients, with agave and some other stuff. What's correct? Are you moving from agave to the, honey, or from the honey to the, the new stuff? And he says, well, we're moving from the honey, which I think is a better product than agave. I mean, I did another video on agave. Check that out. Moving from the agave, from the honey to the agave and the coconut palm sugar. I'm like, that's not raw, right? He's like, no. He's like, but it's a lot easier to work with. I'm like, well, what's up with that, man? I mean, your company name, in the company name has a nice word that it's about raw and living and whatnot. He's like, it's all about it's easier to work with. And I was just thought in my head, well, there you go. Prime example of, greed, dollars, and easy to work with, make more money, you lose the integrity. So, there's no integrity lost in the food that you grow in your own home because, there's no money involved. You're growing it, whether you hopefully get some organic plant starts, organic seeds, you're growing it. And, everybody that's serious about raw foods, once again, I'm saying it, needs to grow their own food. Because if everybody grew their own food, we'd have a much healthier planet. There'd be less transportation costs. You'd be healthier, you'd be eating a higher quality food. That's pretty much all I got to say today. So this is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. And, just think about these things next time you're shopping at the health food store. We'll see you next time.